What's happening, YouTube? It's your homie S. Dot of DefTF coming back to you with another video. And yes, I did the flex, even though nobody was watching. It's just kind of a habit now. Guess I just love flexing. Got the gym here in a little bit too as well, so excited for that. But I'm also excited to do this video for you guys because, you know, I love to do commentary, you know, voiceover on these kinds of videos. And this one is even more special because George Machado, shout out to him from Pro Play Games. This was at he sent me the video for the round 3. This is of the Pro Play Tour event that happened 2 weekends ago in Columbus, Ohio. Now this match pits myself playing the Shockwave deck versus little Miss Ava Johnson, shout out to her, and her 4-wide card deck. Now it's 4-wide, and unfortunately we had some mishaps with card placing. If you look all the way up to the top left next to Flame War, there is a card that has like the little slider, you know, with the sleeve. And that is a dead end, actually. So she is playing 4-wide cards with a touch of Flame War. And so as you can see with the Cliff Jumper, that kind of naturally counters my Shockwave and wanting to discard cards out of their hand. So let's see how this matchup ends up turning out. Looks like I think she won the dice roll and she decided to go first. She's going to flip Flame War, always very strong in a blue deck, and then go from there, see who she leads with. So again, this is round 3. I want to say we were both 1-1 at this point. Round 1, like I said in my deck profile video, I lost to the anticipation cards, Mr. Brad Weaver. No, excuse me. Round 1, I played against Seth, my boy Seth, playing a Shockwave mirror match. Round 2, I played against the anticipation cards, and I ended up taking the L that match. And then going into round 3 here, we are both 1-1. And so she starts out with, looks like it was that Sergeant Chromia into, I don't remember who she attacked, but definitely didn't look like she did any damage. I don't know if she's playing any Pierce icons, you know, the black battle icons, but I start my turn off with Scrounge with since I'm able to look at the top card of my deck at any time, the Shockwave, or excuse me, with Shockwave, I was able to scrounge that Arm Hovercraft 100% off the top of the deck to deal 1 to each of her characters. And we're going to send Skydive in for a measly 3. Most likely not going to do any damage, but you know, in these blue versus blue matchups, the only time your little guys really do any damage is through the bigger they are, if the, you know, star count matches up. So I think we're considering how many cards. I think she missed a couple of times throughout the match. She I think she said she had a headache or something, so you know, I just helped remind her about some of her flips for her battle icons. I think we just potentially missed one on her tough there for Flame War. So she's going to draw for her turn. She's going to flip Sergeant Chromia to bot mode and draw a card. And I think what Sergeant Chromia does in that mode is if you play a blue armor, no. If you flip at least 2 blue icon cards, you're able to draw a card with her effect. And in this mode, which she played Start Your Engines this turn and flipped Chromia back to bot mode and untapped it. When you flip to that mode, you can play a blue armor from your hand. So looks like she's foregoing choosing to play that effect. And she's going to play a weapon and then send in Dead End to attack my Skydive, which is going to do nothing unless, again, she plays any black battle icons. Now, unfortunate, what is that? Oh no, I take it back. Smoke Cloak she just traded, so that's not something she flipped off her for her battle. She did not flip a card for her turn though. Now I understand not flipping Dead End because Dead End now has Inborn Tough 2 with the help of Flame War, but she did not flip the Chromia back, which I'm surprised about, to get another draw off the Cliff Jumper. So we'll see if that really matters in the end, but I definitely feel like that was a play that could have been made. But, you know, it's all good. Either way. Draw for my turn. I'm always checking the top card of my deck. Anytime, as soon as I draw for my turn, it's like just about the immediate first thing I do for my turn is always look at the top card with Shockwave. Never want to forget to do that because that is a permanent advantage you have as long as Shockwave is alive. So it looks like, okay, so Smelt here was a really good Smelt here. There wasn't like a field communicator or anything like that. Got to hit a pretty good weapon in that Nose Blaster. That Pierce 2 could definitely get at Shockwave. It's not a lot, but hey, it's something. So, and also, as I was talking earlier, before the Smelt, I did flip Shockwave for my turn to scrap a card out of her hand. And while I draw a card, knowing what I drew, I don't know exactly what I drew, but potentially could have been the Smelt. But so let's see what she. Okay, so she does flip this turn for the Chromia and draws a card. And I think actually on her first turn she, well, maybe not. I don't know. I'll take that back. So another start your engines here. So that's pretty good, seeing 2 untapped effects. But now she just really needs, because her deck being predominantly blue. Okay, I was going to say she's going to need some Pierce to try to get through on some damage. Now she's going with 5 attack into my Red Alert, and it looks like she is playing some Black Battle Icons. She has a steady shot from her flip, so she'll definitely at least be getting in 1 minimum going into the Red Alert. Okay, taking it, getting 2 and on Red Alert. Draw from a turn, look at the top card of the deck. I think with me shuffling, I do see an Infiltrate in my hand, but Infiltrate, really won't be that good in this matchup unless she does play Rollout. If, I were to set it and she happened to activate Rollout that turn, or on her next turn, Infiltrate would be able to negate that, but that probably wouldn't even be that good. So for my action for the turn, I play UFO, Unconventional Flying Object. I flip Shockwave to bot mode, then back to alt mode, which will thus trigger Shockwave's effect again. Not really hurting her too much right now, though, because she, that Cliff Jumper is a buffer and kind of direct counter to Shockwave, so it does help. I mean, she still has to discard a card, but the discard doesn't hurt as much. But I end up actually playing Grenade Launcher this turn. No Gamma Launcher looks like yet, but Shockwave coming in with 11 attack into, I'm going to assume, Chromia. So try to put a sizable amount of damage on her. Can't tell exactly what that dice says. Looks like maybe a 10. Yeah, because she has 12 health. It looks like a 10. From where I'm looking. And I do end up giving up the Infiltrate for the card. I unfortunately could not see, because Infiltrate, again, doesn't really do that much in this matchup. Unless she does play Piece to Tyranny. I did play a Cards deck a month or so ago that played all blue, but then also still played 3 Piece to Tyranny because he played Fire Drive. And game 1, I got rid of my Infiltrate because I'm like, oh, you're playing all blue. I thought this was orange. And yeah, I ended up, I think I lost that game because of that Piece to Tyranny, potentially. So game 2 and 3, I kept them in. But anyway, so she's going to play extra padding for a turn, and with extra padding, you were able to play another extra padding, but not necessarily on the same character. So what she does is she puts 1 extra padding on Cliff Jumper, and then puts another one on Flame Wars. So Flame Wars Tough is really getting a lot of value here when I attack, and making sure I don't get in for any damage except for most likely, Shockwave. So she's going to attack twice into my characters. I'm not sure exactly who she attacks, but honestly, whoever she attacks is, well, she looks like she got 1 damage on the Shockwave from Cliff Jumper, but other than that, unless she flips any other Black Battle Icons, not going to get in any damage in this turn. And I have a video that I want to make very soon, so be looking out for it, with where I think the meta is going to go, what I think is going to end up shifting with Press the Advantage being banned now. Oh, and here's George right here telling us that we need to move our characters over. This is my first instance of having this happen. There he is right there. You can see him next to me telling us, and there we go. So now we got all the characters in sync with the camera. Perfect. And then my scrap pile, move my scrap pile over as well. There we go. Okay, cool. Now you can see the entire field. It's perfect. All right. Shout out again, Mr. George. Very cool dude. But yeah, so I think, and collaboration with Press the Advantage being banned, Decepticon decks clearly get better. Like that Megatron with 12 health and, 12 stars and 17 health is, insane, and definitely a lot more sturdier with Press the Advantage gone now. But I think blue decks, like these tough decks that you see here, depending on what kind of, you're gonna have a new bad matchup in decks that play heavy black icon cards, because even small guys, when they flip a double black and another black or whatever, steady shot or whatever, they're getting in for that value of that 3 damage. So it's like little mini, the bigger they are, that are getting at you every turn. So that 1 card Stable Cover, I think Stable Cover is going to be really good, but I'm gonna stop right there and get back to the commentary for now. And yeah, just be on the lookout for a video about that, where I think the meta is going to go with certain decks, with new decks I think are going to arise, side deck cards, all that good stuff. So kind of start brainstorming and do another series of videos besides my commentary on these. So for my turn, I play Field Communicator. Now I played Field Communicator with a gamble, because on top of my deck was another Field Communicator, but I did it just to get some board presence, upgrades on my characters. So Field Com into another Field Com on Skydive, and I didn't know what the next card was going to be after that, but it ended up being an Infiltrate. Now she's not going to, again, Rollout is the only card that she would play on her next turn. So if she doesn't activate it, whatever, it was free, so it's fine. And then for my actual action for the turn, I play the bigger they are on Skydive to get a sizable amount of damage on her best character, being Cliff Jumper. So hopefully when I'm able to attack it with Shockwave, if it even works out like that, I can KO it and put her behind for sure. So deciding if I want to get one of these armors, looks like I'm definitely going to get one of them. Flipping 2 green armors at the same time, I definitely don't want to pass up on both of them. So it looks like I'm definitely going to get one of them, unless I had one, you know, a sturdy armor in my hand already. But I do decide to get the sparring gear. Not that the sparring gear is actually going to be that good in this matchup. The way Ava's going to win is by using press the advantage, or let's keep press the press the advantage. But I don't know if she's taking that. But the way she's definitely going to win is by using her Pierce. You know, getting through with Pierce will be her way to win. But the issue for her is she going to get enough Pierce in by time, you know, Shockwave set up and then, you know, just bodying characters left and right. So she's going to play Steady Shot and Scoundrel's Blaster. Steady Shot does not give any Pierce upon activation, but it does give Pierce, you know, from flipping. So she's going to attack with 5/7 Pierce 2 into Skydive. And I block, looks like 4 of it, so I'm taking at least 3 or 2. Yeah, I'll take 2. I guess I flipped the 4. What is that? 4, 5, 7. Oh, I got one more card to flip. Okay, so I do end up taking some more damage. So 2 damage on him already, and I end up taking 3 more, putting the Skydive at 5. So definitely getting somewhere with that Pierce, working out. She hasn't been using Dead End's flip, though. Looks like she did not flip Dead End again that turn, because flipping Dead End there will let her draw 2 cards. One from Dead End and one from Cliff Jumper, which will really make me shy away from wanting to steal her hand. You know, there are some turns, depending on how many cards my opponent has in their hand, I'll prioritize taking their hand. And then, you know, to put them down at 1 card or 0 cards. And then there are other turns where, because you have so many cards in your hand, unless I legit just need to flip Shockwave to, you know, alt mode to have the higher, I'm doing it because I want the higher defense, not to really necessarily discard a card from your hand. Like against the Anticipation Cards deck, I don't really care about discarding your hand at that point. We're kind of just playing normal Transformers. I boost, you boost, attack, I defend, blah, 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 and call it a day. Not saying taking the card from their hand, you know, if they have 5 cards in hand and they have like an Improvised Shield and a Peace Through Tyranny, of course those are going to be the 2 that they want to get rid of first. Now those are 2 cards they don't have to trade for green icon cards, and then I have to so when they go down to those 3 cards, they have like a press, a grenade launcher, and a one-shot stand. Well, now if they do have a green card, they have to make the decision to potentially, like if they have flip a bashing shield, where you're going to get rid of one of those 3 cards now. So I mean, still taking, you know, their hand has some merit, but my checkpoints definitely get better, that's for sure. The more cards you draw, the stronger my checkpoints get if I end up finding one. So Ava's going to draw for turn, and she's going to start with flipping Dead End and drawing 2 cards from Cliff Jumper, and then activate Start Your Engines. And I think she didn't really want to do this here. I'm not sure that she's holding her head there. I think I remember she played the Start Your Engines to flip back, but she realized none of her characters were tapped, so she didn't get the full effect of the Start Your Engines. But I mean, at least she got Dead End back in bot mode, or excuse me, alt mode, to be able to draw another 2 cards in the next turn. So now she sends Cliff Jumper in here. Cliff Jumper does have tough too, so it's not Shockwave. Well, I'm gonna say the best. Shockwave has, you know, 10 attack on him, so he'll be able to get in a pretty good bit of damage on the Cliff Jumper. I think she potentially should have sent in the Dead End, so that way Cliff Jumper can get at Shockwave next turn. But I don't know. She could be playing something. I don't remember the entire match, like, so I don't know if she has a. I don't know if she's playing Grenade Launcher, or maybe she does have an Energon Axe, you know, and like another Start Your Engines or whatever. Energon Axe definitely really strong. Well, kind of, sort of. So I play off the top. I play, what's that? Underhand Tactics, my favorite card of the weekend. Helped me win the finals. Love that card. And speaking of the finals, I want to say, as George sends me these videos, if he does send me any more, I'll be posting these. And the finals, though, will definitely be on the PPG channel. So definitely check out their channel, Pro Play Games, YouTube. So now Shockwave is getting really beefy here. He has a 10 attack. He is a 10 base, 3 attack. Or excuse me, a 10 base attack, 3 defense powerhouse right now. And definitely going in. My options are Flame War and Cliff Jumper. I don't know exactly who I decide to attack here, but we'll find out here in a second. Huh, I didn't even realize what's nice. What's cool about her field right now is she has an extra padding on each of her characters. So everybody officially has tough 2 or higher, which is pretty cool. And despite that, though, coming in with 10 attacks, somebody definitely is going to get damaged. I missed who I attacked with all my talking. But I don't know if she's playing the bigger they are either. Bigger they are would be really good right here. She really needs one. Okay, checkpoint. So I had about 6 cards in hand and only 1 upgrade. So I did have the sparring gear, which I'm sure she remembered from another turn, but and I prioritized playing the Gamma Launcher over the sparring gear because sparring gear is not that good, versus a blue matchup. It's not needed, rather. So we're gonna have Dead End attacking into. I'm gonna assume. Looks like she pointed at Red Alert, and does get in for a good bit, or for a point of damage here. So we're gonna stand up. By the way, shout out to 3-Wide Prime. I think that deck comes back next format, by the way. Even with Pierce decks because of stable cover and the fact that Optimus can get back stable cover. And Step Forward is really good. So I'm thinking about just playing the deck as it was at Origin and just add new stuff. So we'll see. But anyway, okay, so I draw for my turn. Looks like I do have another Bigger They Are. So with the way that the wheel turn is working, being able to play the Bigger They Are on a character every, stand up and then being able to attack her best character definitely helps me get there. So I'm gonna send Red Alert out first over the Skydive. Skydive is on the verge of dying, has about 3 health left. The Red Alert still has some time before he is KO'd, but I'm going to get a pretty decent attack on the Cliff Jumper and actually KO it there, which is gonna really put Ava behind. And because her best character is gone now, I think that one turn that she sent Cliff Jumper out over the Dead End. Maybe, and I want to say, I think I mentioned to her in part of the game that unfortunately, I used to like those sleeves a lot, but unfortunately with those sleeves, especially in a deck like this, she has 3 characters that are standing vertical and then the one that's horizontal, so it kind of looks like it's tapped already. So there's a potential that, she thought that the Dead End was tapped, but in fact it wasn't because, it's just one of the card that is revealed, horizontally rather than vertical, being one of the combiner pieces. So I will play Smelt this turn. Smelt actually has some value here because I'm either getting rid of 1 extra padding or Scoundrel's Blaster. She chooses to get rid of the extra padding on the Flame War, giving Dead End tough 3 still. But what's unfortunate is she's going to need a lot of Pierce to actually do anything to potentially take this game. So and actually a small misplay from me here. It's not a super big deal because I was confident I'd still be fine, but I should have sent Shockwave in because sending Sky. I didn't want any of my characters to die. I guess I really wanted to try to have all my characters live this game. When I didn't have to have a character die, but I wish I would have attacked with the Shockwave there because Flame War's attack would have most likely attacked Red Alert, and then Red Alert only has 2 damage on it, so it had 4. 4 after the attack. But now Flame War has the potential to KO the Skydive. And if she flips a black battle icon. So she will draw a card for Dead End. Like I said, I don't think it's really that much of a big deal. Of course, my main character, Shockwave, you always end the game, with Shockwave anyway. So she does have the Bigger They Are, and she's going to go in on Red Alert. Okay, so that's going to be a big one. That's going to be a 5/7 Pierce 6 on my Red Alert. Scoundrel's Blaster, of course, meeting the requirement of attacking an Autobot, which will give it Pierce 2. So we're going to put Red Alert pretty high up, close to being KO'd. So I flipped 2 blue for defense, but it doesn't matter. I will take that entire Pierce, just about leaving a Red Alert to be KO'd. And the flipping Shockwave this turn, sitting at 11 base attack. Play Sturdy Armor. Sturdy Armor is a blue-green armor that you can only put on specialists, and it gives +1 defense. And if the character that happens to block against a ranged character, which is super popular, it will you will gain another defense. So very nice card. I flip an underhand attack is off top of the deck. Being a Decepticon card, you can deal 1 damage to an enemy. If it's KO'd in this way, heal 1 off of your Decepticons, or one of your Decepticon rather. So Shockwave's coming in at 11 attack on the Flame War, killing the Flame War, leaving Dead End to face the masses here. So we stand now, and this is something that I've mentioned before. Not that Ava, I don't think she really cares at this point, but like in a tournament where, like in most situations, like same with that Skydive play, needing to have potentially sent that in, being a minor misplay on my part. I like to, I don't want to say be a perfectionist, but I would like to do everything that's correct, even if it doesn't matter. Because when it does matter, I'm going to need to do that right play. That's why it matters in that sense. But at this point right here, hate to say it, but the game's clearly going to be over. Not going to be able to get through 15 health on the Shockwave, and by the time she even would get close, I usually have Callous Leadership or Energy Pack at that point. So at this point, really should have scooped up her cards, and we can move the game to save on time. Because if whatever her plans for side decking was for me, if it would potentially put her in a position to push us to game 3, it helps. So again, we don't potentially go to time. So when you see that the game is over, don't do that thing where I play against a couple of players where they say, "Oh, I got to kill at least one of your bots." It's for your ego. So your ego stroking right there, and just to make yourself feel better. It's like so you don't go tell your friends, "Oh man, yeah, I didn't even kill one of his bots." Yeah, that doesn't matter as much. I mean, I guess you just don't tell your friends that part. But I think you should potentially scoop your cards up to save on the timer. Big deal. Very big deal. So I ended up taking that game, and we are going to game 2. Since I won game 1, I have to side deck my character first if I want to. And as you can see, I did side out Red Alert and Skydive for the big bad General Optimus. So that's 11 stars then, trading the 5 and the 6 for 11 star total, and with Shockwave. And she also sides out Dead End and Flame War, since they don't really do as much for Prowl. And Major Prowl, he doesn't do anything on his bot mode, and I can't see what his stats are, but I do know, and I only know this because I remembered when she attacked me with it at one point, when Prowl in bot mode attacks an enemy with a weapon, deal 2 damage to it. So it's a plasma burst to the enemy it's attacking. So it's pretty good. And it's a car. I think it's 9 stars. So we got 9, 8, and 7. So is that equal to, or is he at 10? He might be at 10. I don't know. I can't really tell. So we're doing some side decking. As you can see, she's bringing in some laser cutlass and thermal weaponries, all of which would have been nice to actually see game 1, especially the laser. I'm assuming she played the laser cut. Well, she's taking those out, looks like. But seeing more laser cutlass would have definitely helped game 1 to keep pushing damage through, especially with the untaps. Being able to untap and kind of redirect where my attacks go, and getting in 3 at a time, 3, 3, 3. On my Shockwave definitely could have had me sweating. So see what plan she has for game 2, and we'll get right to it. I usually would make a cut here in the edit to go straight to the next game, but you guys know I like to talk. But I actually don't have much to talk about right now. I'm trying to think. Hope everybody's having a good Monday/Tuesday, whenever you're catching this. Wave 4, getting a little closer and getting real excited. So many different decks. I mean, it's clear already, as we get more waves, there's of course, going to be more decks to build. And but I'm legit going to have to really pull out extra copies of a whole bunch of cards, except for like mainstays. Like I think I have like maybe 3 sets of Peace to Tyranny and only 2 sets of security checkpoints. So I actually might need to go buy a 3rd set of security checkpoints, because I really don't feel like switching out cards out of other decks. But I think it's inevitable this time around. So now that I think about it, I just gotta make sure I don't forget my checkpoints first of all, like that one tournament. But yeah, I'm gonna be making like 10 decks. I think normally I make like 5 or 6 or whatever, and then still have to swap out like some of the more power, usually just the press the advantage, or maybe potentially like Energon Axes or whatever. But seems like I can tell you one thing: I'm gonna have more blue decks than orange decks this time around. I know that much. I think we might be able to potentially start off a format with blue. And I think I probably will. Well, I'd say that I try to do orange like everybody else, but I suck at orange. So, team blue. All right, so we start the game off. Game 2, she's going to flip Chromia. I'm not sure if she drew a card or not. I know one game. That's why I was going to mention game 1. I think she flipped and forgot to draw. It was either this game, and like I said, I just missed it because I was looking up, wasn't looking at the screen at the moment. But so I draw for my turn, and which is a nice first turn play here. UFO. I have both, my Shockwave and the mode he wants to be in, and that's a solid opener to get a card off top of my deck that I wanted to draw. And I'm actually going to lead with Shockwave here in this blue matchup. I think I would probably lead with it even in the orange matchup, because you actually want to put the divergence, diverge all the damage actually on Shockwave. That's the way I play it anyway. That could be wrong, but that's just the way I've been playing it. And instead of leading with the Optimus, and then Shockwave does have tough one right there. I don't really flip General Optimus till late game, and he's usually the last character. So I'm reading the Prowl here because that Prowl's pretty good. when it's attacking, an enemy with a weapon. So she plays Start Your Engines. So it's cool. She found the Start Your Engines. I'm not sure if she flipped Prowl first, then played Start Your Engines. That was kind of weird. I didn't see exactly how that worked out there. But she's going to play extra padding on Prowl. So it looks like going to potentially send Prowl in this turn. Looking at my field, I'm sure she doesn't expect General Optimus to do much next turn. Okay, but she's actually going to send in Cliff Jumper. Cliff Jumper in on my Shockwave. I have Tough 1, so I'm flipping a couple more cards, and I'm blocking for 6 defense. 6 to her 5. So I reflect that, and I do have a green. I have a Reflex Circuits. Never forget your greens. Look at all your flips at all times, and at the end of combat, always check your flips and make sure there's not something you want to get from those flips. And there's that trade out. Traded a Battlefield Report out for Reflex Circuits. Battlefield Report, of course, decided in out, for the Infiltrate, because Infiltrate's not that good against, of course, blue matchups. Again, Rollout's the only card I think that she would end up playing. Now here, I'm shocked. I don't think I've seen so far. I've seen so she discards. Wow, she discards another Start Your Engine. So I'm gonna assume, and I already did assume when she sent in Cliff Jumper like she did, that she had a turbo boosters. But so Smelt getting some decent value there, getting rid of extra padding. Playing an energy pack on General Optimus. Again, I value him more than Shockwave once I side deck. And keep in mind, I say that now, but like with cards like Hidden Fortification and stuff like that coming on wave 4, I probably, reverse that. And Shockwave actually might want to be my last character. It's a lot easier to set him up anyway than it is Optimus, with the Gamma launchers off the top and all that. And, end in with an 11 base character versus a, I'd rather have an 11-2 than a 8-3 just about any day. Even though, 8-3 on Optimus with Focus 1 and Tough 1 is great. Not taking nothing away from the great one. Okay, so she had Ready for Action. So I guess it was the same thing. Start Your Engines, Ready for Action, and the rest of her hand was strong enough that she didn't want to get rid of, anything else when I discarded from her hand last turn. So she's going to go Chromia into my Optimus, and unfortunately right here, I think she forgot to draw again. Again, keep in mind, she did say she had a headache, and she was just kind of out of it, as was I, to be honest with you. That's why, a lot of times throughout my matches, I had my hand on my head, because it was only round 3, but we were kind of just already just, mentally sort of drained through all this playing, It's a lot. A game of Transformers, a match of Transformers takes a lot more out of me mentally than Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever did, to be honest with you. It's just a lot. And it's funny because this game is simpler, but it's like, I take it back. Not really. I think just the constant thinking of, all right, who do I attack? Or who are they, going to send in? Or, there's so much to think about. And I take that back. This game is simpler in the sense that you get one action, one upgrade. Yu-Gi-Oh! You can play all your cards if you wanted to, if you were able to, rather. But this is definitely a thinking man's game, and that's one of the reasons why I really like it. And then there's bugs. Sorry, no, I'm joking. All right, so off the top, I'm going to flip Shockwave and play Reclaim off the top of my deck. I did flip for my turn, so that means I'm not going to be able to get any other equipment but, a Decepticon card, which I do get. So I flip to bot mode and then play the Gamma Launcher off the top via Reclaim. And I'm going to send Shockwave in with 9 attack. That is my action and upgrade and flip for the turn, all in one. So that was a quick fashion. Attacking into who I'm going to assume is probably the Cliff Jumper. Put some more damage on it. Hopefully I don't have to put another attack into it. I can just kill it on the, next time I'm able to attack it. Okay, so flipping Prowl here. She does remember to draw this time. She draws a Vaporize, which is really nice to kill Energy Pack. So puts my General Optimus down a notch. Going to play... Okay, yeah, it looks like, and I missed this. That looks like Surprise Attack, and we both just kind of missed that. She played 2 actions in that one turn and dealt 3 damage to my Shockwave via the 2 damage from the, or is that a what is that? Okay, I was gonna say, that's an equipment. So she did play 2 actions. She's not playing Legendary or what's it called? Trusted Lieutenant. So we both missed that again. We were both kind of out of it at this point. It's all good. Kind of. If I lost the match because of that, I guess I wouldn't have known until I saw this video, right? But see how it ends up turning out. So I have another Reclaim, and I played Reclaim this time, and I think I prioritized, since I have Shockwave in the mode that he wants to be in to grab any other upgrade besides the Decepticon card, I actually Reclaim, General Prime's Ion Blaster, and I play Field Communicator with my upgrade for the turn to get that out. Then I also flip Shockwave and take a card out of her hand and draw the other card. So I think I planned it that way. I'm assuming I looked at the card on top of my deck prior to Reclaim, then played the Reclaim, and I don't know what I drew, but clearly it was something good enough to set it up so I didn't play Reclaim and flip Shockwave to draw the Ion Blaster. I decided to play Field Communicator instead, and then flip Shockwave to draw the card because I didn't want to, play it that turn off of the Field Communicator, if that makes sense. So now we got Optimus sitting at a 6'4", 4 defense is definitely a lot, and then passing over the tough to a 3 defense Shockwave. I'm definitely set up pretty nice coming in with, despite 3 attacks coming at me right now. So I don't think she flipped this turn. Yeah, she might not have flipped this turn, unfortunately. But she's going to send in Chromia. Again, keep in mind, this matchup's all about her finding her thermal weaponries and, Nobles blasters to get any type of real damage in. So I'm blocking with 5 defense. I don't think she had any Pierce. She still has 2 more attacks, so we're going to keep our cards in play. I think I remind her there that her flips stay in play just in case she decks out. Gonna go Cliff Jumper into Shockwave as well. Got tough 1, and I'm flipping a good couple of cards. Very high defense there. Looks like about 8, I want to say. 8 to her 5. Shuffle up. I cut. Yeah, and it was definitely good that some people, like I know early, in the early turns, it doesn't really matter if it does per rules, but it doesn't matter because, your deck is so, thick that you're not going to deck out, but definitely want to be careful once your deck's getting closer to 0 cards so that, your cards that when you're attacking, they stay in play. All right, so we're going to stand. I don't think she got any damage in on that turn, so it was a pretty good defensive turn for the Shockwave deck. Got a good bit of cards in my hand. Got a Vaporize. I'm not going to use anytime soon. Not on a Turbo Booster anyway. So it looks like both of her characters, 2 of her characters have damage on them. Not really caring about the Chromia. Trying to get rid of her better characters at this point in time. Play another Gamma Launcher. Take her last card out of her hand. Unfortunately, again, she missed some of her flips and draws with Cliff Jumper, which, kind of made it easier for me to take her hand. So we're going to go Shockwave with 11 attack. 12, actually, with flipping a energy pack. And looks like we're going to... Okay, that's what I was saying last turn when I attacked Cliff Jumper. Hopefully I don't have to put in 1 more attack to it. So taking out her best, her support character definitely helps out a lot there. So now her draw is turned off, and then she definitely pretty much has to play every card that she draws every turn. Otherwise, Shockwave's most likely going to take it. Going to go Chromia into Shockwave. Still got that tough 1, but I do end up taking 1 damage, I think, from Pierce, I want to say. Trade a Handheld Blaster for something I missed. Stefan started playing so fast. Oh, okay, so the Chromia did have damage on it. Okay, didn't realize that. I thought the dice was just from Cliff Jumper. Looks like a 3. Looks like he has 3 damage on her. Gonna play a secret action off the top. Want to say, yeah, it's definitely Battlefield Report. So Battlefield Report to help, fix my hand, or, well, I can't really say fix my hand. I have a million cards in hand at this point. But, just get me to whatever else I want, get rid of any double blues or whatever. So I'm going to flip General Optimus this turn, and now that he's ranged, I'm going to put Reflex Circus on him, which is one of the other Rock, Paper, Scissors armors other than, from Sturdy Armor. You put it only on a ranged character, and it goes +1 defense. It's a blue-green armor, and if it blocks against a melee character, you get +1 defense there. So I used Focus and ditched my W5 Gyro Blaster, and then flipped 3 more because he has Bold, or 2, plus my 1 extra for his Bold to get some decent damage on Chromia. And Optimus is pretty stacked there. I think I remind her, yeah, she has to flip here and then play the Turbo Booster, excuse me, if she wants. Diagnosis, yeah, okay, yeah, Diagnosis. I think that is a Autobot action. Heal 1 from one of your Autobots and then draw a card. And it's white. Gonna send Chromia in to Shockwave. I'm gonna flip Battlefield Report, draw 2 cards, and stack 1. I like that card a lot. Like I said, currently, you know, to help fix my hands and stuff, and it's a nice replacement over Infiltrate when you're playing against a blue deck. So I block that attack, and I was just telling her about it, and then I keep my flips in the. I put my flips in the scrap pile. So and she's not attacking with Prowl in the mode that he really wants to be in. So she flipped, but she did use her flip for the turn on the Chromia, but probably would have been better to flip Prowl there to keep getting that constant 2 damage, because you know that 2 damage is free as long as I have a weapon, you know. So, and I want to say Ava Johnson's father is the one that played the Optimus Prime Grimlock deck. So, and he was doing really well, seemed like throughout the day, and also made it to the top 8 of the of this tour. So I was anticipating playing him because I don't even know how that matchup would go, but it seems like I'd probably struggle with, you know, Optimus hitting super hard in orange and then Grimlock rolling over damage. So I got a good bit of cards in hand, which means I got a couple of options. I want to make sure I make the best play. I'm going to just play underhand attacks this turn, deal 1 damage to Prowl. I'm going to flip Optimus back to get that extra tough on for my Shockwave. Then I'm going to play Sturdy Armor on Shockwave and send him in to, I'm not sure. Hitting 2 hitting 2 orange battle icons as well off my flip, so that's pretty strong. So coming in at 14 onto Chromia, KOing her as well. So now Prowl has a lot of work to do. So Prowl's definitely going to need to put in some work here, and also defend well from the General Optimus Prime. So she really needs like an extra padding, or okay. So she plays Steady Shot. So coming in, I think with 5, 6, 8 attack, 8 and dealing 2 damage automatically to Shockwave. So she's definitely getting some decent damage in. But unfortunately, the Prowl is also ranged as well. So I get another defense from, you know, the Sturdy Armor. Then I get the tough one with Prime. So I take 2 initially, but then the actual battle damage wasn't a lot. It looks like I only took 1. So definitely going to flip Prime here. Prime stacked at 10-4. No, excuse me, 8-4. 8-4 with Focus 1 and Tough 1 and Bold 1. Play Energy Pack on him now, so he's fully loaded. This is what you call a fully loaded bot now at this point. All upgrades on him, all upgrades you really want on him. Play a Smelt just because it really was no better play this turn, and just to, you know, make her lose that 1. I guess at this point, I would normally never do that in early game, but in late game, you know, kind of just for value to kind of slow down her attack value. Optimus gets in there for a decent bit of damage, and this potentially might be her last turn, as Prowl definitely has a lot of work to do, and, you know, it's not a lot of health, unfortunately. So we all stand. And now she's in a position, now she only has 1 bot, where when she attacks, I get 2 attacks on my bot. So if she doesn't KO anybody here, then I get 2 attacks on the Prowl, and then... Or maybe they're not. I'm not sure. Okay, I think we had some confusion there. Maybe I was confused and wasn't paying attention. I don't know. But either way, I mean, whichever one of my 1 bots attack next, you know, definitely should get the KO. She does play a security checkpoint there, taking 3 of my upgrades. But, of course, as you can see, my bots are fully loaded at this point, so it's all good. And take some damage, and pushing Shockwave close to being KO'd. We got, what's that, 13 damage on him, so he has 4 health left. So then he still got Optimus over there with, you know, 18 on him total. So got to attack with Shockwave here into the Prowl. And if this doesn't do it, the next attack definitely should. Unfortunately, with 1 defense and only Tough 1, it's not going to be enough to prevent these 2 attacks from KOing the Prowl. Count out the defense, and there's the handshake, and that'll do it. All right, so shout out to little Miss Ava Johnson. That deck is pretty cool. Like I said, definitely counters my deck, but, you know, unfortunately, she forgot of, you know, in terms of discarding her hand. Unfortunately, she forgot a couple of her flips throughout the day. But again, like I think she said she wasn't feeling good and she was a little out of it, so it's all good. I think this is maybe the first. No, I think we've played again before, and she played me with a that crazy RC Grimlock thrust deck, which is insane. But shout out again to her, Miss Johnson. All right, so small recap of the match. As you can see, the Shockwave deck did what it does best, taking your opponent's hand, and at the same time, Cliff Jumper kind of counters my deck naturally by every time she flips a card, she's able to draw a card. But a couple of times, unfortunately, she did miss the trigger for your Cliff Jumper, and she really needed some more Pierce. So I don't think she was playing 3 copies of cards like Laser Cutlass and even Energon Axe and things like that. But cards like that definitely would have helped her, put more pressure on my Shockwave and make me prioritize potentially, using Energy Pack, or actually playing Kalish Leadership if I had it, in my hand to keep my Shockwave alive. And with that, that's going to do it for the, the rest of this video. Again, shout out to Miss Ava Johnson and her card deck, and good luck to her in future tournaments. So, with that being said, there's really nothing else to talk about. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that's about it. George Machado, yeah, if he, again, shout out to him and PPG. If they have any more matches to, pass over, I would definitely do those. I love doing commentary in these videos. Be looking out for my analysis video of what I think the upcoming meta is going to be. Talking about it is just going to be a, educated guess for myself. And then what's going to be nice is to see how much of what I talked about goes into fruition, come Dallas, because Dallas is like right before the Energon Invitational, so that'll be exciting to see. And that tournament again will definitely be pivotal in deciding what a lot of people play and how they start manipulating their decks based off of what they saw at Dallas, especially if Dallas is a bigger event, which I expected to be bigger than what Columbus was. So be looking out for that, and I'm gonna stop talking, get up out of here. Nothing much else to say except for the usual. You guys have a great day and or great night whenever you're catching this video. This is S. Yes, I Flex of Def TF heading out. Peace.